Hi, Terry VanNoy. Welcome to Math Class with Terry V. Hope this video helps you out, and if you enjoy it, please share it, comment, or like it. And you can also go to my website, MathPowerLine.com. It's a math resource blog, lesson videos for students, and other resources for parents and teachers. Give me a call or go to my website or email. All right, let's go to today's lesson. Completing the square is a basic skill or trick or technique, if you will, and we use it for all these basic ideas. Okay, well, first of all, this video deals with what it is and what does it mean to complete the square. Then we'll get into how you use it when you're solving some quadratic or second degree equations, and sometimes you have to rewrite equations in the form where it's a circle or an ellipse or a hyperbola, or maybe just doing some practice problem sets and taking a self-quiz. So look for those problem sets where you can just practice some of the things I'm going to show you. And at the end, there's going to be one or two self-quizzes and kind of test yourself out and see how you did. All right, completing the square. What the heck is that? Well, first of all, I have a list of examples, and we just kind of need some terminology here. If we're going to take a binomial, two terms here, and square it, that's called a squared binomial, of course. Now if we write it out the long way, in an expanded form, it's x plus 2 quantity squared. There's two of them. Now let's go ahead and multiply that out using the FOIL method and create what's called a perfect square trinomial. This gives us x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now in x minus 3 quantity squared, next row, I get x squared minus 6x plus 9. Then I have x squared plus 10x plus 25, and x squared minus 12x plus 36. Now I want to take a moment here. Let's look at some patterns. First of all, notice that the first terms are all x squared, and that comes from the first x times the first x right there. And then we have these middle terms that alternate signs. In fact, they stay the same sign as what we have in the middle here. And you notice how these third terms here, plus 4, plus 9, plus 25, and plus 36, yep, they're all positive. All right, so in these perfect square trinomials, we have a third term that's always positive. Now, the key to completing the square is to, if I know these first two here, can I make up or create the third number? So let's see if we can figure out where 4 comes from. Now look at these 2's here. These 2's here have created a 4x. These negative 3's here have created the negative 6x. The 5's created a 10x, and the negative 6's created the negative 12x. Alright, so it looks like if we take half of that middle term, and then what do we do to it to get the 4, 9, 25, and 36? Notice that 2 times 2 is 4. The negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. The 5 times the 5 is positive 25. They're always positive. And negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. Alright, so here is the rule. We're going to take the middle term coefficient, which is negative 12 in this last example, and we're going to find half of it, and then we are going to square it. So it's half of the middle term and then squared. All right? That's as simple as I can make it. So what's half of 4? 2. What's 2 squared? 4. That gives me the third term. What's half of negative 6? Negative 3. Square it. That's 9. What's half of 10? That's 5. Square that to get 25. What's half of negative 12? Negative 6. Square it to get 36. All right? Now let's put this to use with a little bit of practice, and notice how it's not always going to be this easy, but I want you to give this a try. Take a look at these 4 problems, and you're finding the value of c that completes the square, okay? And so remember the half squared rule. Can you give that a try? Pause the video, write it down, and we'll see if you're right. Here are the answers. In number 1, negative 40 is your coefficient of the middle term. So what's half of that? Yep, negative 20. But square it. What's negative 20 squared? Positive 400. So if we had a 400 right there in place of c, we would have a perfect square trinomial, and we'd be able to write it as a squared binomial. Z minus 20. All right, next, this is a positive 8. What's half of that? Yep, 4. And then we square it to get 16. If we had 16 right there, we could be able to write that trinomial as a squared binomial, and it would be x plus 4, quantity squared. See the pattern? All right, now 17, we take half of that, and it's going to be 17 over 2, right? Don't worry about making it into a decimal or a mixed number here. But when we square that, it's 289 over 4. Okay, and if we had that as written as a squared binomial, that would be a plus 17 halves. All right, number 4, what's half of negative 42? Negative 21. Then when you square it, that gives you positive 441. Now if that was in place of c right there, we'd have a perfect square trinomial, and so we would be able to write it as a squared binomial, which would be y minus 21 squared. All right, so being able to find that third term is called completing the square. All right, that gets us started with this video series. Now we're going to move into being able to do this while solving quadratic equations. Thanks for watching, and share this with others if you think it's helpful, and we'll talk later. Thanks. Bye. All right, there you have it. I invite you to go to my website now, MathPowerLine.com, or email me or give me a call. The way I work best with students is live online in my classroom. So if I can help you in any way, answer some specific questions, the first lesson with me is free as I show you how everything works. All right, study hard and take care.